Repeat Offender is a long-form open discussion podcast. Topics include sensitive issues such as sex, religion, politics, race, gender, death, BDSM, MFN, CFNM, MMF, MMFM, and healthcare. Do not try this at home.
Get your motherfucking ass up when I'm talking.
So hold on tight. The action starts now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
And here we go.
That's why I'm gonna replace you with Ron Jeremy.
I know. You didn't even fucking be like, yo, Thomas, can you get off work, nigga? What's up, man? Ron Jeremy's coming on because he'd probably been more comfortable with me anyway. You know what I'm saying? He probably only agreed because he heard me on the podcast.
No, he probably thinks you're black.
Yeah, he probably like shit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I just been excited. Like, cause that kind of thing.
But he's got that olivey skin too.
He's uncircumcised.
You know, Oliver.
Oh, okay.
Oliver.
I was like, according to
olive colored skin.
He was not, or he was circumcised.
He's darker. He gets dark. Like sometimes he's darker and got that dark Jewish hair.
Oh Jesus! Oh, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
Well, his real name is Ron Hyatt.
Yeah, well, that might explain it.
There you go. But speaking of darker, welcome to the Repeat Offender Podcast. I'm Sean. On the other end of the line, that's Tommy there with no beard. We requested he not do that anymore, but fuck it. It comes and it goes.
Going out there raised, man. I gotta, play the part for the money.
You gotta wear that fucking SCBA.
No, I had to go Caucasian this week.
Oh God!
I know, it's fucking. It wore me out. Like I just, I feel like I already worked 40 hours and I ain't even been to work.
It takes me about almost a month to grow what I have right now.
Yeah, I shaved off about fucking 8 inches, man. My shit was like longer than a motherfucker.
I only have facial hair, basically, so it looks like I have a chin.
Oh, damn!
If I had like a strong chiseled chin, I could probably go without it. Then I got this rat's nest of mustache thing going on, but I can't go straight Amish. So you
probably do more to goatee. You look like a goatee type guy.
Well, I'm definitely not going to be one of those people that shaves the beard and just keeps the mustache like firefighters. Like, no, that's just that trend needs to die off. That's not a good look.
I ain't seen nobody in with pork chops in a while, mutton chops, whatever you want to call them, the old English shit.
Usually, you'll see those with like tattoo artists and hipsters.
Oh, I can't pull that off. Like you gotta be like cool with yourself to pull off the mutton chops.
Well, my hair grows sporadically. It kind of looks like there was a garbage fire on my chin, so. I don't really get. I get like 9 out of the 40 different kind of things on the facial hair list that I can do.
It's probably because you're probably Indian.
That's what my grandma used to tell me. She go because my real dad was born in Thunder Bay, Ontario, and he was some kind of like French Canadian First Nation thing, like part.
I was talking about like Hindu.
Like Hindu?
Yeah.
That's on my mother on the call center.
Yeah,
side.
Because I thought we started calling Indians natives.
No, we
still call them Indians.
No, we call them customer service nowadays.
Oh no, I was talking about the American Indians again.
Oh yeah, but good luck finding one.
Yeah, we show because if we can do it on the 23andMe or whatever, then we might be able to open a casino if you got enough. You can just tell them, look at the beard. It's fucked up. I'm an Indian. We're good.
But just don't get Trump to run it because he bankrupted the casino.
Yeah, he made more money though on the bankruptcy itself.
Yeah, and he voided a lot of labor contracts too. There's a trail of employees and workers left in his wake.
There's more than one way to argue with a union.
Yeah, there is. Really, I'll just sell this short sale. Terrific, tremendous amount of money. None of you get it.
I mean, I'm not gonna pay a janitor $32 an hour.
Nobody pays janitor $32 an hour.
They were getting it at GM and shit back then, $28, $32 an hour.
As union.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, casinos aren't. I don't think they're unionized.
Yeah, them motherfuckers are unionized. Everything in the Northeast is unionized.
Fucking Hoffa. Well, since we were getting on that slippery slope, we got a problem here in America, and that's that people of different ethnic backgrounds don't know their place, and they keep clashing, and people keep getting hurt, and then fingers go around, right? Pointing at each other. Who's to blame here, right? White people? I think so. Of course, I mean, centuries of unchecked prosperity, and so it's to get you. Of course, recently, I think it was last week or the week before, somewhere within like a pay period for most of us, there was an unfortunate incident where a young man who just so coincidentally happened to be black, according to a video that all of us have seen, was jogging, out running, and he was approached by two men with similar stature and accent of Tommy.
No, fuck you.
Dude, I'm just saying.
Crazy as a motherfucker.
I would bet my immortal soul
They look more like
that
you
one
than
of
me.
them said boy. One of them said boy. Hey, boy.
One of shit. That motherfucker look like you. The son or whatever in that mugshot with his old red face and shit. That motherfucker look just like you. I could have swore it was you.
There's nothing worse than a red-haired Southerner. Anyways, Ahmaud Arbery is the gentleman we're talking about, was jogging, and according to the video that everybody saw, this happened in February, by the way, and we didn't even see the video until early May or late April.
Because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, they don't release videos because of the Rona.
I'm just saying that motherfucker look like you.
Are you shitting me? I'm gonna post this video just so people be like, here's Thomas before Nair, and here's Thomas now.
Yeah, that's crazy as fuck. Like the dude with the white beard could have been your dad from Ontario Thunder Bay.
No, my dad looked like Sam Elliott, the actor.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at that beard. Like if your shit turned white.
Those guys look like they have to trade chromosomes just to go
I'm saying the son, he looked like he had sex with animals, like for real animals. Like like little animals that can't even defend themselves. Not like big horse dicks, like chickens and sheeps and shit.
Like you gotta tuck the goat's back legs into your boots so it don't run away.
Yeah, he probably let mice crawl in his asshole.
Well, so this is the February 23rd. February 23rd is when this took place. Those two fine gentlemen, as the president's probably going to call them, took it upon themselves, according to what the soft facts we know, that there was a construction site or a house being built, right? And there's security cameras because, some of these fat ass construction workers and contractors, they don't want to pack up their stuff at the end of the day, put it back in the truck. That's too hard, right? They got wives to go beat, and they put some cameras in there. And allegedly, Mr. Arbery was seen several times walking into the site, and he didn't take anything. He just kind of stood there. And because of the country and how it's partisan, how it's divided, half the country, the lighter side of the country, said that would be casing a joint. The other half, I don't know. They mumbled their words, so I didn't really get it.
Terrible.
But Mr. Arbery was running, and according to the video that most of us have seen, Captain Caveman and his son there had jumped out of their truck, armed, and approached Mr. Arbery.
Well, the old one was digging in the toolbox. I'm gonna presume was either for a big stick or some rope.
It certainly wasn't for a book.
No, it definitely wasn't a fucking book, man. I'm just saying.
And they confronted him, and according to the video,
they ambushed the motherfucker. Let's get it right.
According to the video we've seen, there was a struggle. After
the boy tried to run away from him.
Well, the weapon went off, right? And Arbor is dead. And so your initial reaction to this is going to be when you see this, is this dude was fucking straight murdered. straight
Murdered.
up hunted, attacked, and murdered. So
Murdered.
what we're going to do here, or attempt to do, on the Repeat Offender Podcast is we're going to try to disassemble this. We're going to try to unpack what we think and know about this. Now, as a disclaimer ahead of time, anybody that's listened to any of the episodes, I am wholly against blue-collar redneck lifestyle. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's unnecessary. In a lot of ways, I think it's condescending. You listen to country music, you listen to fucking people that work with their hands. They're always they act like their lifestyle is the best lifestyle. Taking your kids fishing, right? You got there, you're squatting down, you got a rag hanging out back of your pocket, you're fucking teaching a kid to change some brakes, right? Drinking canned beer, living that simple life, bonfire. You'll take that over living in a city. That's the way to live. That's true America right there. But I think it's bullshit. I think that shit can be swept.
Well, I'm definitely kind of different because I think there's solace off the beaten trail in the country with a nice home and in privacy and four-wheel driving and bonfires and smoking food on the fucking goddamn grill.
Hell no, deep, baby. Deep. However,
you can't just throw that in the motherfucking mix with two goddamn fucking Irish transplant fucking Klan robe wearing motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? You can't mix all that and say that they turn into fucking country gumbo. You can't just throw all that shit together.
Well, let's just say that like this situation would have never evolved two doctors or two lawyers. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because doctors just bleed him out on the goddamn fucking table, and the fucking lawyer would have defended him from a malpractice suit.
Hey, that's what the Constitution allows.
Oh, okay.
The Constitution does not allow you to drink canned domestic beer and beat your wife in a trailer.
This shit would have never motherfucking happened if the goddamn powers that be would have took motherfuckers serious on policing for profit and governmental overreach, and these motherfuckers hadn't felt empowered because it was connected to the district attorney's office to take the goddamn, imaginary law into their own fucking hands to go fucking, how dare the young black man not stop at their authority to tell him to stop with a shotgun in their fucking hands. You know what I'm saying? And they talking about he shot him because he became aggressive. Motherfucker had a goddamn gun. You know what I'm saying? And he defended himself. He tried to go around him. Fuck them motherfuckers. That's what I told them on the Facebook post. I hope they get bunked up with a black man, but they probably gonna check in the PC anyway. But then it was pointed out to me that, from the profile of the case and the fact that the one was already in law enforcement at a point in his career, they would have been automatically checked in the PC.
Well, so there's a lot of people, if you jump on social media and you read the comments, which is highly not recommended. It took about a week after everybody saw the video for the dissenters to come out. And so what they were saying is because he grabbed the shotgun, that he was in the wrong and he's responsible for his own death. Now, my opinion here, if anyone who isn't an actual police officer tries to stop me and start barking orders at me, you are 100% going to start getting attitude back.
Yeah.
Like, I think most people are white noise. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear where I did wrong. You can fuck off.
They got out with the big head. And it's like, okay, let's pretend in the realm of imaginary for a moment that they had legitimate concern or reason to think he was up to no good and decided they was going to intervene on something. They would have got out the truck without their shotguns. They would have got out, and then it would have probably needed no need for him to even load up in the truck with fucking guns and chase him down and get out ahead of him to ambush him. But the moment that they got out, they was trying to show an imaginary force that they thought the power that they thought that they had, and they thought that he was just going to submit to their authority. And that young man did not submit to their authority. And when he challenged them, he took it upon himself to check him, because when he walked away from him after the boy was shot, he turned and walked away like, I got that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like say something now, bitch.
Well,
this is what happened when country white people listen to motherfucking like Boosie, because they all listen to rap music. They won't admit it, but they all listen to it.
Boosie Badass.
Yeah, so he was probably playing it on the way, and boosted his head all up. But I'm about to check this bitch. He in the wrong neighborhood.
So I got an article here from KCRA 3 NBC. I don't know where that is. So allegedly, according to this, it said Greg McMichael, which is the older one, and his 34-year-old son. 34? That motherfucker is 34. The son. Those are some hard miles, bro.
Oh, shitty baby. Oh, shitty baby. Look at me. Look goddamn like he didn't bake all the fucking way. You know what I'm saying? In that mug shot, hold on. Let me see if I still got it.
Like straight up, I'm 38 years old and I think I look pretty good, right? My hair is nice and thick, right? If you're 34 and you look busted like that, dude, you need to drink some water.
Look, he don't look as arrogant right there as he did when he was walking away from that body in that fucking video.
He looks like they asked him to read that optometrist eye chart, and he froze like a deer in headlights.
He looked like he got caught with a chicken on his dick and his face on his mama's pussy. That's what he looked like.
All right, put it away. I know 50 of those guys.
Yeah. They from Michigan.
Yeah, basically. According to Greg, no, it's worse though. At least those guys were in Georgia, so they could wave that rebel flag for whatever makes them sleep better at night. There's motherfuckers in northern Michigan that wave a rebel flag, and it's like, did you know where your side was fighting on during that war? But whatever. Anyways, I digress.
I don't think that the Confederate flag really represents that war anymore. I think there's a different ideology.
You can't change a flag.
Yeah, but it morphs. It morphs. Things morph. You know, it's like the Republicans used to be the Democrats, but they morphed into a new party with a different fucking name.
That is such a deep ocean right there that it's not even that simple. But you can't take a battle flag of Virginia.
I'm not saying that it erases the war from it, okay? But things morph over fucking time into things that are different. I mean, look at us. We're still trying to figure out the fucking pyramids, but it don't mean that they changed the original meaning that we have no clue of what they were.
Well, here's the thing. So if they're all about the rebel flag and they like wearing it because it means rebel, right? If they wanted to be rebels, then why didn't they pick like the Jamaican flag in the battle with Selassie and their freedom from British rule? That kind of rebel. Why couldn't they go with a fun rebel? Why they got to go with the broke dick? Yeah, only 174,000 people own slaves kind of rebel. Anyways.
Maybe because it wasn't controversial enough.
Yeah. So Greg McMichael and his 34-year-old son, 30 fucking 4, they were arrested on Thursday. Greg McMichael told the police that after the killing that there had been several break-ins in the area and the arbory looked like a suspect caught on surveillance. Right. So, but here's the best part. But no string of break-ins was reported in more than 7 weeks prior to Arbery's death. And here it is. There was only a burglary report after a gun was stolen from an unlocked vehicle in front of the McMichael's home.
Yeah, he left his truck. The boy left his truck unlocked and somebody boosted the gun. Sound like one of his friends took it, is what it sounded like.
So basically, sounds like a lie, right? Sounds like he was just trying to... You remember Trayvon Martin, right? Black kid just walking up with his hood up. That was his crime. George Zimmerman's out there. He calls the police. He calls Neighborhood Watch. They tell him not to do anything, and he on recording, on 911 recording, you can hear him go, "Those motherfuckers always get away," right? There's just something to be said.
Yeah, but wasn't he Spanish?
I don't know. Maybe he's just a dark white dude.
Yeah, I think he was like Spanish or something. But I can still get what you're saying, because
Pablo Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Pablo Jose Rodriguez.
But what I'm saying is, I mean, great concept, but he wasn't like a backwoods white guy from fucking small town Georgia. I get what you're saying though.
But it's just it's kind of, here's the thing. So people like to point out other countries, and they like to say, well, there's killing all the time in there. There's killing all the time in Mexico, and there's killing all the time in in Africa. And here's the thing. Those places are like third world countries. Yeah. Those places are not civilized. It's almost expected that that's going to happen. The problem when this stuff like this happens in America is that we're supposed to be civilized.
No,
we've been risen above this kind of stuff.
Well, the thing is, man, is that we got a systemic problem, right? And it's not just like white on black. it's humans on humans, man. And we always break the numbers up to fuck with people to make the numbers look smaller. Like we be like, cop shot, 3 black guys, cop shot 2 white guys, got cop shot, 4 brown guys, right? So we always break it up instead of saying the actual number as a whole. Cops killed a bunch of motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? And it's like murder's prolific, man, in our society. And I was disgusted by this case. Obviously, I shared and tried to talk to people in person. A lot of people didn't really take it serious. And then it come across the post about the girl in motherfucking where was it? I don't know if it was in Louisville? Maybe it was Louisville. The girl that got her door kicked in by the police looking for somebody that wasn't even in the fucking house, that was already in police custody. They didn't announce herself. Her boyfriend grabbed a gun and shot and hit one of the cops in the legs. They opened up fire. They killed this old lady in the bed. She was a nurse or EMT worker, and she was naked in the fucking bed, and they killed her. There was no drugs in the house. They arrested him for attempted murder, but they used a bad search warrant and kicked the door in an apartment unannounced, looking for a suspect that was already in custody. So this just happened to it around the same time as this other case we're talking about. So, we got a bad problem, man. With like motherfuckers are detached. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in the political field. It's in our everyday lives. People are fucked up.
Well, so then this opens up a bunch of subgenres of discussion. So I've been on this kick lately of listening to, top 10 most disturbing 911 calls, right?
Yeah.
And these are things that most people don't think about every day. And you listen to these, and these are real life. These are people going through this stuff. And it's stuff like home invasions, and they're pretty terrifying. And that's a fact of life, and that's part of humanity. It's part of society, is that there's evil people that are out there to hurt and kill. But that's not everybody, right?
No.
So then it goes back to, I mean, I don't want to go as far as to call it like a bloodlust, but I think there's a certain amount of it in every human, especially when it comes to thinking about, somebody committing a crime against you.
Yeah, defensiveness, man. It's in your DNA. You know what I'm saying? Even the most timid and submissive individual, sooner or later, I would like to believe that, that fight in them, comes out. It's in the DNA, like a motherfucker gonna eat.
Well, and it's just it's at it's the same thing when we were talking about Trayvon. When I was talking about Trayvon Martin, it's that people, there's the concept of defending your home, and then it goes beyond that, where it's like it gets very draconian, where you just want to put somebody in the ground.
Yeah.
For wronging you in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
There's a rapper I listen to, is Brother Ali. It's a white dude, actually. Or he's an albino. So, anyways, but he's got a song called Uncle Sam Goddamn. It's a good song. And in it, he's there's a lyric where he's like, he was talking about, trying to come together, but then he says, but shoot that fucker if he comes near the throne and remind them that this is my home. You know what I mean? There's that idea that it's like you have to so fiercely defend what's yours. Like I said, any slight against you warrants death in a lot of people's minds.
Well, we're getting to a point again where people feel helpless in a lot of things in life, man. You look at the corporations, you look at the government, you look at the police, you look at poverty. Motherfuckers are getting to a point where there's very few things that they can control, and the sanctity of their motherfucking house, and they become territorial. You know what I'm saying? Extremely territorial about what is in their control. You know what I mean? And a lot of aspects of life, that's what it is. I mean, you got people that have jobs, people that don't have jobs. And you wait, this COVID shit, man, if this shit goes on with jobs and craziness and starvation and shit, like we hadn't even really seen the mass home invasions and robberies and stealing for food and electricity yet. You know what I'm saying? You wait. If any of this shit plays out for a few months, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers can't survive off that little stimulus check and a little bit of stamps and shit for too long. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these motherfuckers are hand to mouth, and the fight gonna come out of them.
Well, apparently there's been like an uptick in domestic violence and child abuse because of this.
Well, people are frustrated. They're trapped, and they're you know, people's tempers are rising and shit. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they're probably gonna try and blame the man for all them things when, you know, domestic violence is probably evenly split. There's just as much, you know, comes from women as it does from men, but you know, probably a little more from women actually. They're usually more the agitators in those situations, from my experience. You know, I throw that out.
Emasculating the dude. You're gonna sit there while your family starves. You ain't gonna get up and do something. And the motherfuckers, this bitch is like on my ass every day about this, and I need to feed the kids.
And then they want to spit, and you know, she might want to spit in his face. You know what I'm saying? And that's battery. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, he might pop her with the 4 knuckles, and then, you know, boom, and then, you know, next thing you know, she calls the police. But, you know, and then you want to take dude to jail. But that's the way that goes.
But then, speaking of that, and keeping in touch with talking about racism, so there's the protesters, right? The ones out there, and I'm gonna go ahead and directly. Were you just doing coke? If I can put your head down, sucking, Jesus, man, this is.
No, I kind of lean into the headphones and listen to you, and try and process what kind of fucking, you know, can of worms you about to open. But go ahead.
Okay. To be crystal clear, I am directly blaming the armed protesters in the several states who are protesting the stay-at-home order on the president. Because basically he told them. He tweeted out, said, take back your states, right? And there are the people that can't think for themselves. That gets radioed into their mind, and then that's what they do. So these protesters show up, but here's the thing: you got to look at these protesters. Not a lot of diversity amongst the people that show up to these fucking things, right? Which is to say, not a lot of black and Mexican people are fucking showing up to the protest.
So we should do away with the Second Amendment because black and brown people didn't show up. That's what you said.
What I'm saying is, you got to look at the people showing up. Look at not the angry Karens and the fucking dorky guys standing out there, but the armed. Quote unquote.
All right, so you leave
militia type people. The militia that have the vests on and the fucking the bandana, and they got the AR-15.
Right.
Fucking.
So I get the concept 1,000%. I'm hearing you loud and clear on the Trump thing. Okay, Trump's a fucking waterhead. He did not fucking. He was weighed, measured, and found wanting. You know what I'm saying? And we see that loud and fucking clear. And you're right about there's a segment of the population that they're screaming Constitution is absolutely blind to the infringements that this man is doing to a piece of paper that he does not fucking understand or want nothing to fucking do that he sees as an inconvenience, yet they're supporting him wholeheartedly because they think they're part of something greater. However, with that being said, I think to be a good patriot, there needs to be a level of dissent amongst the fucking ranks. I think protesting is one of the fundamentals that helps create checks and balances. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not against the protesting, but the thing that I see is that most of those people that go out there with the guns that are hiding behind the law that gives them the courage to go out with them guns, 99.9% of them would never use those guns in a situation that needed it, because if they were truly trying to protect the integrity of the country, they would have probably already united and tried to overthrow the treasonous government to begin with it. But I understand exactly what you're saying about the Trumpsters. Okay, well, the people who are brainwashed and think that this billionaire man who is enriching his family and bloodline is actually fighting for them. He is not fighting for them in any way, shape, or form. He's doing back door room deals with fucking China, Russia, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah.
Well, the point I was going to make, because we were talking about racism, was if you look at the protests and you look at the protesters and then you look at the armed ones, the people that show up in full fucking militia gear, they got their camos, they got the vests on with the mag packs, They got good trigger discipline. And if you look at those guys, you got to look at like what they're wearing. You got to look at their patches. You got to look at their tattoos. And a lot of these guys have 3%er tattoos.
Yeah.
Now, if you just ask if you come here to San Diego and you go to East County and you go to like Lakeside or Santee, you're going to hear, and you say 3%er, because I've seen these stickers on people's cars. They're going to look at 3%ers and they're going to say the 3%ers are a paramilitary militia group advocating for the Second Amendment. What it really is a far right gun advocacy group. Started. There was an impetus to rise up with the election of Barack Obama, and there's very few, if any, non-white members of this, and a lot of them are deeply connected to hate groups, right? And that's what these guys are. So it's not just, like I said, it's not the Karens or the dorky people show up again and got shit to do. The armed protesters, a great percentage of them, are basically foot soldiers for a far-right racist movement. And by racist, I don't mean like straight up KKK hoods. I'm saying like there's this subconscious idea in their head that Mexicans and blacks are prone to violence, are prone to crime, and it is their job to stop it. Ahmaud Arbery, he had to have been doing something wrong.
When I worked at an outfit, man, I met a dude who was in the 3%. He was armed militia or whatever, and he was recruiting people or whatever. But this dude is the furthest thing from a racist I've ever met in my motherfucking life. I don't think he was smart enough to be a fucking racist. But great guy. And they was none of the agenda or the motives that he gave me. And I'm not saying there's not sex within that group and all. But I think a lot of them people or whatever, and I can't say because I don't have firsthand knowledge of it. I haven't interacted with those social groups and stuff for whatever reason. But like the idea of the militia, I get it. But as far as the knowledge that you're coming with, I could see that in a lot of these, Second Amendment groups, I could see how sex of them, but there's Second Amendment groups that are all black. I mean, does that mean that that they have motives to kill whites or suppress whites? I mean, I don't know. Each group to their own. You know what I'm saying?
Groups didn't show up to the stay-at-home order protests.
Well, a lot of them are probably worried about going out with guns.
Yeah, because they're black.
And it's like, ideologies, man, like cultures, what I'm saying? Like, bad shit happens, what I'm saying? You got that many people there with guns and all it takes is for one shot to go and then everybody fucking dominoes the trigger. You know what I mean? But a lot of times it's organized by groups, people organize under leadership. And if there's no one leading a group to organize, then people don't organize. I mean, you get like 5 people showing up with a bumper sticker, but, you got to have diversity, man, and I'll go ahead and say the bad thing is that good, safe speech don't need to be protected. You know what I'm saying? It's the dissent that has to be protected. Different opinions, whether it's evil or not. Because you've got to have the same ground to stand on to say things that people like that are opposed to as well, that they don't agree with. So, but like I told you, coming from the South, man, like I know real racists and real racists, they don't get out there like that with that crazy shit. They just don't do business with each other. They're respectful to each other. You know what I'm saying? The old blacks and the old whites, they from a different time, and they don't drive around with hate in their heart. They just don't fuck with each other.
See, I'm not even attaching racism to hate. Hate's an emotion. I look at racism like it's a deep-seated just kind of acceptance of an ideology. like I said, when
you go to prison, jail, you spend much time in jail. When you go to these places, man, any type of industrial complex, people self-segregate. They automatically identify with people that look like them or talk like them or act like them. It gives them a comfort. Whether these people are genuine, they're good people or bad people. I mean, you watch the prison movies. I mean, the whites go with the whites, the blacks go with the blacks, but they both fucking their fucking their initiates. You know what I'm saying? Like they're both ass fucking them. You know what I'm saying? Like there is no, because you're black means you're part of a clique, or because you're white means that, you're protected. You know what I'm saying? None of that shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't fucking exist, man. It's like people just do wrong into other people, but at the same time, I float into a lot of different, social groups, but I don't give a fuck if you like me. I don't give a fuck if you hate me. Like you know what I'm saying? For
by shaving your beard,
like my skin color, my language. I've been called nigger by the cops more times than most black people. You know what I'm saying? So, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? With a big horse dick. I mean, that's kind of the way I felt about it. But, I don't care if they's racist. I mean, I care, but I don't really give a fuck. Like, if you go to sleep with anger or disliking your heart, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't want to fuck with black people or you don't want to fuck with white people, don't fuck with them. Do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? It's America. I mean, you got that right. You don't have to go fuck with people. Why?
So as a disclaimer, too, by the way, I don't think that racism is inherent. It's a white thing at all. It's across the board. Did you hear about the Chinese in China, the McDonald's that had to sign that say no blacks?
Yeah, I know. I didn't see that. I seen the Asian people. I seen the Asian people coming on Vice News, posting that they've been calling into the helpline because people have been attacking them and stuff, and because Donald Trump said it was a China virus. And I mean, I hear what you're saying, but get the fuck over your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like. I don't really defend Trump, but I'm gonna say it this time. It kind of did originate from China, and it sounds like some dark humor shit that I would say, like the Chinese virus. You know what I'm saying? Like it came from China. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that Chinese people are the carriers of this disease. You know what I'm saying? But it's dark humor.
My thing. So it definitely originated in China, and I personally believe that the Chinese government covered it up.
Yeah,
but.
Did you know that the U.S. government funded the research for the Wuhan lab?
I don't start that pandemic shit.
No, they already fucking disclosed it now. It's already came out that they funded it. It was from fucking Carolina or something.
But in terms of Donald Trump calling China, blame it on China, if you watched one of the new, several press conferences he had,
how good of them.
He mentioned that China had tried to blame it on American soldiers in the region, right? And so I think it was more like Donald Trump's "I'm rubber, you're glue" defense.
Yeah.
So he was just because it came from China, right? And then when he got in that thing with the reporter the other day, when she's like, "Why is this a global competition?" He's like, "Why don't you ask China?" It's like, why don't you take responsibility for the fucking 90,000 Americans?
I get what you're saying, but they try and politicize everything. But she was Chinese. She asked the question.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that.
And then she tried to spin it. She tried to spin it into like he was being mean to her because she was Chinese. Like, get the fuck over yourself, you fucking two-bit fucking reporter. You know what I'm saying? And that's why people get angry. Is because just like then, it's like I can see through your bullshit. Why don't you just be a good fucking reporter? If you're gonna be a reporter, have tough fucking skin. Don't go up in there and then cry that you need to suck on mama's fucking titty, because you already know how Trump is, and then you want to, and he makes it so easy he walks himself into that fucking door like 9 out of 10 times. It's easy to twist his fucking words. And 9 times out of 10, they don't need twisting. He talks on the fucking 3rd grade fucking level. You know what I'm saying? So, but he doesn't usually mean more than what he's fucking saying, other than fuck you, kiss my ass. Like, this is fucking petty. I don't even want to be at this fucking news conference. Shut the fuck up. Here's what I'm willing to talk about. Let's move on. Now, I'm not defending any of that, but at the same time,
you as a reporter can't politicize every little thing because your fucking feelings were hurt or you was trying to walk him into something and become viral. These bitches want to become viral so their career's made, and then they can go on speaking in the next 30 years how the time that the fucking president offended her during a pandemic, referencing her as Chinese. You know what I'm saying? Like, suck a fucking dick.
That's the problem. That right there, what you said is that's what I view people when it comes to Trump. The problem being is that I think his supporters are viewing him through that lens.
Yep.
Through the lens of like the people who were like, oh, he said it because she was Asian. He didn't fucking say it because she was Asian. He's saying it because he's like, I'm the president. I'm blaming China, right?
Yeah.
But and then it's kind of condescending when they're like, well, they're looking at it by the stupid far left calling him racist. It's like, no, Trump isn't racist at all. You gotta recognize the humanity in others to be racist.
Trump does not give a fuck about anybody whose name is not Trump.
I don't even think he cares about his kids.
Okay.
But anyways, going back, you can't, like I said, racism isn't inherently white at all. Asians,
no, it's in every fucking race.
And then I learned about something because I've been really into checking out like serial killers. And apparently in like the 70s, there was the zebra killers. And there were a bunch of murders done by black Muslim serial killers in San Francisco. Were just straight up walking up to white people and fucking killing them. They call it, when I first heard about it, it said zebra. I thought it was because like it was black killing white, right? Zebra. But apparently zebra was the name of the police.
Yeah, because most serial killers don't go out of their own racial group.
Well, I thought it was well, I don't know. Jeffrey Dahmer was killing like fucking
most statistically most serial killers do not go outside of, I mean, that's like a 101 profiling, thing.
But what I am saying though about white racism is that, going back to me talking about how America is supposed to be civilized, the racism here is accepted and layered and not dissolved. What's the word I'm looking for? Diluted through like laws, and then they try to attach the Constitution to it. But really what it is there's generalizations where they're saying, well, he's a black guy, he matched a black guy that we've seen on camera. And but then saying that there was robberies and there was no robberies. And then they ultimately hunt this guy down and kill him. And then for some fucking weird reason, there's like two opinions about the story, right? As if just two guys in a truck versus an unarmed dude. Let's just say they weren't even, let's just take race out of it. Let's just say they were fucking three guys. Let's say it was the little stick figure guy from the fucking men's bathroom sign, and they didn't even have facial features or color. Two of them were armed, one's not, and they go to confront the one that's not armed, right? And start fucking barking orders, and then put him in the ground. How is that just not inherently across the board, no matter what the situation? Who gives a fat baby's dick if they stole your fucking power saw?
Yeah. Like they weren't causing no threat to you at that point. Zero threat. Like zero threat.
Nobody gives it. Look, I get it. Like I said, I hate redneck culture, so I don't fucking care about thousands of dollars worth of tools. That's your fucking fault. All right. You know what I mean? Lock them up. Take care of them. Don't leave them on a fucking job site and then think because you have a deer cam, that's your fucking fault. Yeah. But also too, stealing. This isn't Hammurabi. All right, eye for an eye. Stealing something, or allegedly stealing something, or assuming somebody's stealing something is no.
That's not what happened. What happened is they said something to that boy when he was jogging. And he kept on, or he was like, "Fuck you," or something like that. And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna show that motherfucker." And in their mind, they was gonna give him an ass chewing and a threat, and he was gonna learn his place. But when they pulled up and he come running to him and tried to jog around him, and he didn't respond the way they thought, it spiraled out of control and it escalated to a point where some bad shit happened. they challenged that little red face's mama pussy sucking motherfucker's pride, and next thing you know, he was pulling the fucking trigger.
Apparently, from what I read, I don't have it in front of me. There was a text message between like a sheriff's deputy to the owner of the home that said, call McDaniels instead of calling the police and he'll handle it. If like you see this guy or something. So they were fucking unofficially deputizing McDaniel, like call your redneck neighborhood watch instead of calling us and this motherfucker, because a cop has got a lot more behind him. Like, so when I used to work in a bar and I was checking IDs, I don't want to say bouncer because I ain't that buff, but when I was checking IDs at the front, some retired asshole cop in California decided to come up with this. So in California, to work at a bar, you got to have a guard card. But then this other cop decided he wanted to come up with something outside of that and have his own retirement business called the proprietary property service officer card. So on top of the guard card, you got to have that shit. Anyways, it's fucking stupid. It's just a way to charge bars more money. So we had to sit through this class, and he basically told us, he goes, a door guy at a bar has more rights and freedom to handle a situation than a cop does, right? Because cops are kind of bogged down by laws and regulations and protocol. And I think, you look at this situation, if that really was the case, when he sent the text, the cop was like, well, look, we can only do so much. This is the South. You know what I mean? So we're
but the South, and this is what gets me, man, because like I've been in New York City and I've been in Florida, man. In Florida, it ain't like that. It's the South ain't like what you're picturing, right? New York City's more racist than fucking Georgia. No, I promise you. I've been to both. Okay, I've been to both. In Florida, white people and black people live on the same street. In Georgia too, and it's the same thing. And then in New York, they got people squandered off in the whole fucking regions.
So the population in the state of Georgia is 10.62 million. Okay. 10.62 million. The population of New York City is 8.3 million. So there's more people in the city of New York than in the entire state of Georgia.
No, you said 10 million in the state and then 8.6 million in New York City.
Sorry. So
they're equivalent. New York City, and Georgia.
Sorry, just the city is almost as populated as the entire state.
But New York City is basically a state unto itself. I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, you ain't got to be.
Well, okay. So speaking in terms of population, because as I've stated many times before, people don't take population into account when they think of things. So like if people are arguing guns and they're like, oh, these liberal states like New York and Los Angeles, it's like, first and fucking foremost, there's 1,000 times more people just in Los Angeles County than the entire population.
But you can't even go on that argument because you got to look at propaganda that's been taught to people over a generation. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, I'm saying
so like the liberals that are against guns, it's because they've been programmed by these cities and these institutions that they need to rely on police to save them and not to be able to defend their own property and stuff. So. And the police and the powers that be have convinced these people to give up their rights because if the entire city was armed, they could storm the fucking castle and take it over.
By the way, that's just kind of a myth because if you're out here in California, you go to LA, you go to come down to San Diego. First off, we have 90% of the West Coast military, right? Mm-hmm. There's fucking gun stores and shooting ranges all over this city, right? The only thing they don't have is open carry. So not having open or I think you can allow concealed carry at some point. Just not having open carry doesn't mean anybody's infringing on your gun rights.
Well, you're not taking. You're not going.
What guns looks like in a populated area. That's when the Chicago argument comes in. That's what happens when there's a ton of people fucking armed. They start using it. You can be a country bumpkin in the middle of fucking Light My Fart, Georgia, and just have your gun and be like, well, every once in a while a car drives.
That's not what the murder happened in Chicago. murder and shit happens in Chicago when impoverished people that are fucking, out here getting money in the streets go to war with each other, not when everyday people have guns. You know what I'm saying? It's
Well,
and the
here's
people, and you can't sit here and try and say, oh, because we can de-arm a city. No, because if a nigga out here getting money, you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't giving a fuck about the law anyway. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't going to stop him. You just going to stop Mr. and Mrs. John Q. Public because they're not breaking the law. They're going to try and follow the law because they're trying to be honorable.
Except if the law means they got to stay home. No, what I'm saying is...
because of starvation. I mean, how long you going to stay at home with no food in the fucking refrigerator? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
They're starving. Nobody's starving.
They're starving. People are starving.
So if you go to Chicago, right, and there's that myth of like, well, if criminals are scared of armed citizens. Well, no, because if you take fucking Q-Tip, on the Lower East Side of Chicago, who's fucking banging and slanging, and he's got a gun, and he will fucking use it. He is not afraid to use it. And he's shooting at other gang members who have guns. Clearly, he's not afraid of somebody who has.
No, I can tell you, I've run around a lot of crooks, and if like they know certain people or whatever are armed up, like. People, a lot of crooks, man, prey on lesser prey. It's easier. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't necessarily unintentionally going to go have a shootout for no fucking reason. Like, there's usually a provocation with that situation. You know what I'm saying? But like,
gang members have guns because anybody, not even just gang members.
Yeah, but no, so what you're saying, because a gang member is going to shoot you if you have a gun or not, there's no need for the public to have guns too.
I'm just saying they're not afraid of you if you have a gun.
You're leveling the playing field. It's less likely to increase. I mean, it's like when two people both lift their shirt and they're like, all right, we cool. You know what I'm saying? We cool. But it's because we can go there.
The deaths in Chicago aren't just statistically they're not regular people.
Like Biggie said, we can both pull burners. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they be like, nah, we good. You know what I mean? Okay, we good. We'll catch it on Thursday.
And also too, here's the other thing too against the gun argument. Cops have guns and cops die. So
cops shouldn't have guns.
Guns don't necessarily level the playing field.
Guns. Cops kill people all the time that ain't armed. You know what I'm saying? Right. And kill people all the time. I don't think cops should have live rounds. I think they should have rubber bullets.
Well, everybody should have rubber bullets.
They should have rubber bullets. Bottom line. I mean, if they can't control their fucking fear and the uncertainty of the situation, and they panic and they thought they were pulling the taser, whatever fucking kind of lie they want to tell, no, rubber bullets. You can incapacitate an individual, put them on the ground, subdue them, handcuff them. Everybody's good. You know what I'm saying? And then you can investigate and prosecute. You can't be judge, jury, and executioner on the motherfucking side of the road because you were fucking afraid. You know what I'm saying? If you're that motherfucking afraid, don't eat pussy because you might get AIDS.
You lost one wheel on that shopping cart, dude.
All right. Anyways, I got to go eat dinner and shit. I think that this whole topic, I think needs to be expanded upon. I'm just gonna be honest with it. You know what I'm saying?
Fine. We'll do a part 2 on this one.
All right. That's what's up.
So, I want to thank anybody listening. I want to thank Department of Parks and Recreations in Chernobyl. I want to thank Backwoods, Black and Milds, OE. Am I missing anything else? Mad Dog, McDonald's.
Yeah, you want to thank the Brunswick Sheriff's Office for completely botching and fucking up the investigation, trying to protect one of their fucking own, because without you, this would not have been a viral sensation to bring awareness to the corruption and the fucking killing of innocent civilians.
Yeah, so good job, fellas. So thanks for listening. We're going to be talking about this more later on. But just remember that, no matter what happens out there in this crazy world, even if you're jogging and a bunch of genetic rejects jump out of a truck and confront you, never, ever go quietly. Peace.